We are down on the bayou as you get a look inside the Caesars Superdome here in New Orleans. Today we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the Cincinnati Bengals and the New Orleans Saints. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be second down. Now, this defense for the Bengals, they were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers, 3 of them, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Jameis to throw it. He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The Saints first down there on a gain of 11.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. And he used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Winston to give. It's Kamara. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5. The Saints at 2-3 here to begin the new season. They were losers their last time out. Trying to get back in the win column, but obviously not an easy task here in a hostile environment.
Yeah, always tough to win away from home. But sometimes what you do is you use these types of games as bonding experiences and carry that into the contest.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They run it again with Kamara. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 7 yards there and a first down. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Kamara up the middle. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like even if he had opted to keep that, I don't think there was going to be much to gain.
Seemed like it was perfectly defense. And know what they say? Those guys on the other side, they get paid too.
They'll need the 39 here for a first. This is third down. On play action, Winston. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Trey Hendrickson showing off his pass rush repertoire that time.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Bengals take over first and 10. At their own 19-yard line.
On one, ready?
From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. And the catch made, it's Tyler Boyd. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
A first carry here for Joe Mixon. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 10 yards there on a Bengal first. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back to back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on first down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they've got the defense set back on their heel.
And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Saints are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. That throw, Charles, in the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation, too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw, or maybe the ball's tipped, or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
They begin on the ground with Kamara, and he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made that time by B.J. Hill.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Winston now. Open man is the tight end Troutman. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on 3rd down. Here's Winston. He rifles one that's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense.
And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Number 83. second touchdown on the season. And the Bengals take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Yeah, they dipped a game below 500 following the loss last week, and you get the sense that maybe this team's at a little bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, because what's that old malaprop? If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Because this group, they're losing ground fast. They've got to start winning some ball games. And the good teams, they're starting to separate themselves, and these guys are being left behind.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. 9 yards on the gain there, so from 2nd and 19, now we've got a 3rd and 10.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. On 3rd down, Winston. Looking for Landry, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Von Bell, and he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
And I think this is a situation where quarterback coach on the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and punt the football.
Meanwhile, Burrow's throw here into the hands of Boyd. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
We're going to just keep this line on a loop because we say it so often. First down, Tyler Boyd. He's thriving in a high-volume role for the Cincinnati Bengals, averaging almost 80 catches and 950 yards a season over the last 4.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. On the stop there defensively, Marcus May with a tackle. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Once again, they run with Mixon. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Mixon is into the end zone for a Bengal touchdown. So that's now 10 touchdowns for him on the year. He's into double figures, and we're not even to the halfway point of the season yet.
Partner, doesn't it speak to how well he works with this offensive line? They know he doesn't need a giant alley to run through. He just needs a little seam. And he's so good at being patient, waiting for things to develop, and then accelerating when it does appear.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, you know, we were having a tough patch. This too shall pass, this too shall pass. And if we kept having a rough patch, he said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. That'll wind up as a loss on the play, so now they're staring at a 3rd down and 12.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And, Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Daxton Hill picks it off. And they will finally get to him, but a great return has set him up 1st and goal at the 5. He had his eyes on the end zone. He got close. At least he set the offense up nicely, but he's probably mad he didn't take that one to pay dirt.
I agree with you, and you know he's going to get teased because he didn't get it all the way into the end zone. But if they don't score now,
and he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon hitting double digits with his 10th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bengals are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that makes the score 21-0. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse if this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
And he's going to be shoved out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 87 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
And he put up a good fight, but he's going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Running the jet sweep, Landry. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. 3rd down, now even tougher. 3rd and 13 after that loss of a yard.
Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss. And he will not be able to get the first as he can get this only down to the 5. All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has 3 options, right? So what's different from that versus the triple option that we see the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking it to the runner and then keeping it himself and maybe having a trail back. What I mean is, in the NFL, that option to throw the football all comes about organically. It's a natural deal based on reads. In college, if you're going to throw the football for triple option, you've actually called that play.
So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
But I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, That would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move. At their own 25-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well, so that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field is still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
He'll fire this complete to Hurst down the field. Yeah, he's got to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. It's another first down as they bite off 23 more on that one. Here we go. Here's Burrow. He gets this one to Boyd. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. Mixon with a first down carry. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Burrow will throw. Got a man. It's Chase. He completes it. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Burrow looking to pass. This will be caught at about the 6. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards.
And they ran just a little underneath route here on 1st and goal, but there's really not a whole lot of room to operate this close to the goal line. He's just not able to get loose after the catch.
Here's a run with Mixon, and he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon as the first half is winding down, and the Bengals are able to add on to their first half lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good, and the route is on here in this first half. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Trey Flowers picks it. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. I mean, at this point, CD, what is not going their way in this first half? After that pick 6, they now have a 4-possession lead here.
And that allows them to say to themselves, how about we get everybody involved, okay? Because this one is a runaway, and it's looking like it's going to be even more of a runaway. Everybody gets a chance to play and get a little bit of love. The more guys that end up watching the highlight reels from this one, the better.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. It's a squibber picked up around the 27. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll be out of bounds across the 25.
The Bengals take over first and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Well, it's hard to imagine the first half going any better for them, CD, and now here as they begin their first series of the second half. I mean, they score here. This one, it's pretty much out of reach.
We honestly might already be at that point, partner, because this team, they were dominant in the first half, continue to be dominant now, and I think they're viewing this as a put-away drive on their way to a lopsided victory.
At the 32-yard line.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
11. 12.
They'll stay on the ground. Mixon again. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 53 yards for him on the ground now, and 3 touchdowns to go along with it.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And he's taken down at the 50 after a short gain of 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to small up the ball carrier.
From midfield now, Burrow. He's got Hurst, his tight end. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 35. A solid gain of 15 yards and the sticks move.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking to throw to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
Here we go.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On the delay, it's Mixon. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Now it's Burrow. Over the middle, that's caught by Chase. Touchdown, Bengals. Jamar Chase, 27 yards. And the Bengals have got it on cruise control. Well, familiar refrain, a turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, partner, I'd say there are a lot of grins breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. He was trying to clear the way, the big fullback. Instead, he gets a hold.
And you don't see that very often on running plays from those guys because usually they're the lead blocker. Normally, when he gets caught, it's in a passing situation.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. On the counter, here's Kamara. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. The tackle there by Jermaine Pratt.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Third down now. Those last two plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Mike Hilton. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six for a Bengals TD. Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead, and it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them play it straight, do all the right things, but these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to take chances, and that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6.
And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window. And now here is another interception. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six for a Bengals TD. Well, if there was any thought that this thing might turn around for this offense in the second half, I think those thoughts pretty well dashed after that interception return there.
It just has not been a good outing for this unit whatsoever. There's no other way to say it. They've been overmatched, haven't performed to the level that they've needed, and that throw there is just going to contribute to this game getting out of hand.
And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball. And it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard. Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And my goodness, another interception. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And the Bengals will take over possession here up at the 44. The number 7 usually lucky here. Not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career. But when you're talking about one game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer, the last to do it in 2001 to throw 7 picks. Back to Mixon on second down. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks, allow other people to make tackles. And when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Open man is Chase, complete. And he's got some space here. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Ja'Marr Chase with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Bengals are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Well, it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. The turnover on the last drive, they had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Saints on third down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. And now here is another interception. Trey Flowers picks it. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. But just to add that to the list of great moments for this defense today, they've really shredded that game plan on the other side all 4 quarters. And, Charles, that pick 6, that's kind of the cherry on top.
Yeah, they did it, and I feel like I'm quoting a bad movie line, but they did it together, didn't they? Fed off of each other, every big play they made, every tackle, every pick, everything they've done. They continually built energy in this one, and how about culminating with a pick 6?
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage, because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
Kamara gets it again on second down. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. Oh, it's a wobbler here. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
Here's Kevin Huber now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. And this is away, and I don't think Landry will get a chance to return here. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains. Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now, but as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. Here's 2nd and 10. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. 2nd down, and it's Kamara again. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Again, it's Kamara. And he's going to be met at about the 43. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Desperation time. Winston on 4th down. And they're going to try the screen. It's complete. And now this is going to be close. The defense says they stopped him, and they did. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Bengals will get the football back. And they take a knee. And they will take a knee here. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it.